Okay, so today I got Davida from the new band called Howling Sycamore, correct?
Yes.
So I got a few questions for you, and I first off thank you for taking the time out to speak with me today. Your self-titled
Oh, thank you.
debut is coming out January 26th, and I think your current single release right now that you have is called "Let Fall." Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah. Um, the album is coming out for Prosthetic Records. Uh, thus far, we released two songs. The first one was called Upended and came out on the Bandcamp. The second one is Let Fall and came out on Metal Sax website a few days ago. They are very different songs. The first one is the opening track. Upended is the opening track of the album, and is probably one of the more articulate and crazier songs of the album. And I wanted to use that both as an opener and both as a first single, just to give the idea of a band that has a strong mindset into experimental uh, extreme music. I am proud of our sound, and I wanted to go out loud and clear about our intention. The second song, Let Fall, is a more introspective rock uh, with a rocker vibe kind of song, and they're both uh, expressing very well what is Howling Sycamore. It's like a recipient of a lot of different influences, extreme metal, but also prog, uh, contemporary music. My guitar influences are dissonance um, and of course the voice. The voice of Jason McMaster is a classic heavy metal prog, um, loud and high pitched kind of howling kind of voice.
Yes, I actually did listen to them, and like you did mention, they are both a bit different. The first one, Upended, was, uh, a little bit faster, in your face, but it has a lot of different elements. It's very dense as a song.
Yeah.
You even throw in there's even some saxophone parts to it too. I mean, from what I
Oh
recall,
yeah.
I've never heard anything like that used in an extreme progressive type metal so far.
Yeah, the upended as guitar solos, sax solos, furious, fast drumming, super high pitch vocals. It's really an intense song.
Yeah.
So it's also, to me, has also a very positive and energetic kind of vibe, which is something I'm very happy about. I like my band to have some kind of positive, aggressive um, vibe in it. I think it's energetic to say the least. So
Right.
I like that song.
Yeah.
The lyrics are already very bleak and introspective. The music is balancing that out. I think
Kind of striking a
that's
balance
the
between the
nature
two.
of it.
Yes. So when you were writing this album, was there a certain concept or theme that you were aiming for?
This album started in an interesting way. I first was asked to play guitar for an extreme metal project of a friend, and the drums for the project were recorded already. So he gave me this, give me 5 songs with drums, and it took me like a few weeks to find my way in, and eventually, the guitar parts were pouring out to me. I composed the whole thing in 2 weeks. Then we gathered together and we realized that the material was not fit in the project. So I kept my guitar and he kept his drums, and I decided to start my own band, starting with those guitars. So Howling Sycamore born then. Then I was looking for a very talented extreme metal drummer, and Eric Rutan suggested me to contact Hans Grossman in Germany, and Hans was free at the time, and he agreed to be the session musician to play drums on the album. And my producer, Scott Evans, at suggested me to contact Jason McMaster for the vocals. And at the time, I already was clear that I wanted a heavy metal voice, not a scream or growl kind of voice. So Jason McMaster agreed to, and from that moment on, everything started to take its own shape. But since the very beginning, I wanted these three distinct elements: extreme metal drumming, my guitars that are layered and down tuned, and a high-pitched voice. That was sonically what I wanted.
Yes, it brings an interesting mixture that throwing in all those different elements, and then with the vocal range on there, it's it's kind of jarring at first because what we're used to today is either growls or deeper voice or whatever. It's like that's not that many musicians or vocalists that can do that type of style of vocals.
Yeah, it's I wanted a kind of over the top kind of mix. I'm a huge fan of anything that Black Sabbath did with Dio. I I found pretty much every song they did together speaks so loud to me. I really love them, and somehow um, Dio with Rainbow or with other projects didn't really work that much for me. So I wanted, and my guitars are very influenced by Tony Iommi. Some of my guitars are definitely into that. So I wanted to, in my own little way, to take that little direction, to
Right.
go in the path, and
Yeah.
that's how it started.
And now that you say that, I can visualize that. I could visualize myself having a vinyl, going in a room, putting it on, and turning the volume up with this album.
That's beautiful. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
It's just yeah. It's also I wanted an album that can be approached and left there after, like, the album is 40 minutes more or less, and there's a lot going on in these songs. So I wanted to make it light enough to be easy digested, and then you push play again and you restart. I
Yeah.
wanted something that is very dense song-wise, but at the same time is approachable.
Right. And so far, I mean, I've listened to the songs, the first two songs that you've released, different times, and each time that I've heard it, I pick up on something different, or, you can see how, like you mentioned, it's easily approachable, but as you keep listening to it, is you see that there's more layers to uncover as you're, enjoying it.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
We actually took off a few layers here and there.
So, and talking about the actual sound of the album, it sounds very open, very raw. Is this something that, was intentional, also part of the recording process?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I was lucky enough to have a producer that was involved in the project since the pre-production stages. So I have a home studio where I record my scratch tracks. So he was into just metronome and guitar at first, and then we decided together that the drums were supposed to be 100% acoustic, no trigger, no nothing, no outage, nothing, just natural sound. And then from that moment on, when I re-recorded the guitars and my bass, we were aiming for a broad, big sound that is as natural as having a band in front of you.
Right.
There's not too much trickery. There's not. Of course, we add effects on some guitar layer here and there, and their music is probably most likely to be played with two guitars. But it's a band playing together, even if it was done in different stages. I wanted to sound as natural as possible, and I picked that producer for that reason.
Yeah. And that is going to transition very well live.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So on this album, what was your? I mean, hasn't been released yet, not till January. What was for you one of your favorite songs to record, and and why is that?
One of the favorite songs to record. Let Fall really came out well. I, Let Fall is one of the songs that have a very groovy bass. It was, and at the same time, it's also the song that has the slowest part. The midsection of the song is really Black Sabbathy, and I don't know, that song was special since the first. When we approached the song, we nailed the guitar sound immediately, for example, and it was a lot of fun to record that one. I would say the Left Fall, yeah, is definitely the most interesting. I also liked a lot Descent to Light. It's one of the closing songs, and I'm not sure you had the chance to listen to that. It's the fastest song in the album, and there's a lot of melody, and the voice is very felt. Jason McMaster told me that was the song that he liked the most to play, and there's so much intensity in the voice there, and it was really nice to record that one too.
Excellent. Now, being that you're kind of pushing all these different types of elements and influences into what you're creating, is this a kind of a reaction, or is this an evolutionary process of musicians today are just phenomenal? I mean, gone are the days to where you can just play three chords and okay, you're done, here's a song. Now it's just musicians are just pushing themselves to create all different types of variations of music. Do you see that moving it that way?
Well, if you think about it, today we are reaching incredible level of musicianship, especially for what concerns drums. 15 years ago, drummers were not this good. Right. I think. Also, if we consider an old school drummer like Mike Mangini is absolutely incredible. Like the other day, I was watching again the Dream Theater audition for drummers, and I still, after years, I'm like blown away by how much drive and power that drummer has. And these days, there are so many young drummers that are so fluent technically. It's incredible. I'm not a huge fan of triggers. I'm not a huge fan of process drums. But I have to say that there are a few drummers out there that are really pushing what that instrument can do. And as a guitar player, I rejoice because playing with someone that good is really, really awesome. And push me as a guitar player to go strange, to do things that maybe a solid, good rock drummer will not let me do. So I said, in my music, drums are really important because they push me to create even more audaciously with my guitar.
Right. I guess it kind of gives you, freestyle in the sense to where they can do their thing, and it's like you mentioned, it's truly pushing yourself to where it's like, well, they're doing this, I need to be able to complement what they're doing, and he's giving you that range to be able to do that.
But then doesn't necessarily mean that I want to match the energy of the drums, because I noticed that even doing a beautiful guitar arpeggios on a super fast drum feel, it's fantastic. Like I like the fact of using contrast in my music, in my lyrics, and a very powerful drummer, technically proficient, can give you the chance to do a lot of strange things. It was an eye-opening experience.
I bet. So how long did it actually take to record this album?
Okay, so the drums were recorded in 2 weeks, like on and off.
Uh-huh.
And guitar took me 3-4 days. Bass was 1 day, and the vocals was done in different like one song per week for it took a few months. And the mixing took a long time.
Uh-huh.
Mixing and mastering, we had like 7 different kind of mix, 5 different mastering to choose from. It was a long process.
Yeah.
Mixing and mastering, yeah, was was not fun. But I think I did the right choice to not be involved in the mix. I wasn't present, and my ear were still fresh. So I didn't go crazy or overboard. I did that error in the past. I will never do it again.
Yeah.
So I was fairly decently like objective. That was.
Well, that's good. So our last question is going to be: now that this is your album's going to be, it's pretty much complete. It's coming out in January. Is there any, you know, not getting into too much details, but is there any tour plans or what can fans kind of expect this coming year?
Oh yeah, I am. I secure a wonderful rehearsal place for the band. I have a fantastic live drummer that will record the next album, and I'm putting together a live band, and we're gonna start playing live soon. I'm also starting to, I have 30 minutes for the next album written in terms of guitar, and I'm gonna we're gonna start rehearsing for the new album on Tuesday. I'm excited.
Oh, excellent. So you're ready and prepared to give this to the masses.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm really happy that this first album is coming out for such a wonderful label like Prosthetic. It's such a boost for us. The day I received the master, I created a SoundCloud link and I sent it to labels, and Prosthetic Records brought me back like in less than 2 days and offered me to put out the album in less than 3 months, which is really unheard of. And I'm very grateful for how easy and how nice things are going for me right now in terms of the band. Writing the album wasn't that easy, but
Right.
the second part seems to be somehow very everything is going smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth sailing.
Everything's falling in its place.
Yeah, which is nice for once.
Well, it's all that hard work, throughout the years. I mean, this isn't something that is new to you. You've been around for a while.
Yeah, I started in '98.
Yes.
But
So
yeah,
have a little bit of history. So you saying those things about the record label, it kind of says something. To you wish other record labels would be as easy to work with.
oh well, usually the bigger the label, the more you have to wait. I know people that gave the label the master for the album and had to wait 9, 10, 12 months to have the album out released. So yeah, it's fairly typical in this game.
Yeah.
So I am blown away that not only the signing process was so fast, but also releasing the album.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's great for you, and I look forward to hearing the rest of the release. And like I said, this is something that I can visualize buying on vinyl, and it kind of throws me back to back when I grew up. You just get with some friends, throw on the album, turn it up loud, and just enjoy the music.
No, that's awesome. That's really a compliment for me. It's exactly what this album wants to be. Yeah.
Excellent.
Something, where you can chill, relax, and the vinyl version is going to be silver. It's beautiful.
Excellent.
So
Well, I can't wait. And Davide, I appreciate you taking this time to talk with us, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for the support. You have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you. You too.